looking, I'm like, bruh. Like, I was just awed at, you really have to take care of your body as an artist. Like, this ain't, it's not a game, because you'll pass out.
Absolutely. I mean, just seeing alone, like, the kind of time you have in general, like, again, to go from city to city or from here to here, whatever, you're not really taking time to eat. Mm-hmm. Like, most cases, you might be able to grab little finger foods, or you don't want to eat too much before a show.
Testing 1 2. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Michael Jamel, aka Mike G, jazz saxophonist / producer, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Hot Tea and Incense podcast. Yes, sir. And I'm joined by the one, the only, Chris Jernigan, y'all. Give it up for him. Give it up for him.
Let's clap. Let's clap.
It's a dope drummer, man. It's funny because it was Chris and you and your group was like the spark that made me realize this is what I want to do for a living, being a musician. I think it was it Harry's Barbecue?
Man.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah. Downtown Norfolk. That's the band Under Construction. Me, David Lee, Matthew Caldwell, Greg John on sax.
That's it, yeah.
Jose Palmiel on guitar. Yeah, that's making me feel old. That's crazy.
It was a legendary experience, bro, man, because it was like, it was my first time being in an open mic situation.
Yeah.
And it was just like the vibe, the energy. And I was like, what? This is it right here. So glad to have you, man. It's been a long time overdue. Starting off, I wanted to introduce to the people that don't know you yet. You know, I know you're a great drummer. More than that, but tell them what you do and how you got into music.
I play drums. Typical story, man. I started out in church playing drums, but it was like literally 5 of us, like young boys that played. And every Sunday was like a fight to get
church session.
to get that one song. And it was just like, okay, cool. But around 4th, 5th grade, my great aunt was already kind of putting me on the piano and doing stuff like that. So by 5th grade, I was fully able to carry a service and so forth and so on, just off of, playing by ear at that point. So I stuck with keys for a long time.
Really?
When I was in middle school, I auditioned for the percussion section and didn't make it. So they put me on like a horn. I played baritone in middle school, right?
But you wanted to play percussion.
But I wanted to play drums. That's all I ever cared about the entire time, right? So played baritone in middle school, got pretty good at that, all cities and stuff like that. Then I got to high school at Booker T, and there was a shortage of tuba players. And I was a big guy, so it just was like, yo,
tuba.
Try this out. You know what I mean? So I tried it out.
It's a tuba thing.
Yeah, I despise that line. Love the movie, despise the line. But no, man, I tried it out. I loved it. And that's how I ended up getting my scholarship to go to Hampton. Was through tuba. My concentration was sousaphone to attend Hampton. But it was like, I want to say junior, maybe senior year. Our band director at the time, Dean McDowell, we started to do pep band, right? So pep band means it ain't no more percussion, it's actual drums now.
The drum set.
Right?
Yeah.
So when the school got the little grant to get the drums, all the rest of that noise, me and my homeboy, guy named Darius Sewell, that was like, church kids that played drums. So it was like, okay, cool, let me try this out. Let me do X, Y, and Z. So I want to say 05, 06. That was like junior, senior year is when I was like, I'm fully back in. Like, I don't care about nothing else. But so from then on.
Was it like a battle?
Nah.
Like it was like somebody like in drumline?
Nah.
I want to call you out.
He was in the drumline and he was wearing everybody out. So I was just, me included, like wearing all us out. So it was like, cool, but this gave me a chance to play anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just like with anything else, like repetition gets you better. You know what I'm saying? When you play ball, you go to different courts. You play different people. You don't play the same people you normally against, so you can build up. Okay, when this happened, you know what I'm saying? That kind of deal. So I think that helped me in the long run to be able to be a chameleon of sorts when it comes to drums, at least. So I'm not boxed in or caught off guard. Yeah.
I noticed that too, and I know you did a lot of touring as well, and I wanted to kind of ask you about that, just your experience with the touring in different cities. But before we jump into that, I want to read the T captions before I get them ahead of myself. So mine says, "May your head and your heart speak with one voice."
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna read mine here. It says, "Compassion is the constant act of giving oneself to another."
Wow. Yogi be coming for the heart sometimes with them joints. It's like, be selfless, but it be what you need to hear. Cool. So we on this echinacea immune support right now. So I'll go check that out.
Where we get this from? This is actually kind of good. This is
That's that Yogi tea. Sip slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, where have you toured at, and what was the experience like?
That's good. East Coast, West Coast. So I did a couple years ago with this band called Lewis York, right? So there are two songwriters and producers who were in the industry for that reason at first. So literally, you've heard all of their songs. Part in the USA, Miley, that's them.
That's them.
They wrote that. The whole Epiphany album for Cassette, that's them.
Oh, that was fire too.
Literally from Michael Jackson to Celine Dion to Britney, Christina, Bruno, like Grenade, that's them. You know what I'm saying? So you've heard their music, but they're such creatives. They got tired of having to be a part of a hit machine. You know what I'm saying? When you make a hit like Part in USA, they gonna hire you to say, "Hey, make me another Part in USA." You know what I'm saying? Kind of deal. So they kind of took the route of like the whole Motown vibe. They literally bought a house in Nashville and turned it into headquarters. So everything is in there, from the studio to rehearsal hall to offices to everything like that. So
it's crazy because I try to do my situation the same way. So
yeah.
That's
so
fire.
I got connected with them through a friend of mine in LA, a guy named Brian Fraser Moore. You've seen him a million times on the Super Bowls. He played for Justin Timberlake, Madonna, so forth and so on. So if you see Adam Blackstone, most cases the guy on drums is the dude Brian.
Okay.
Kind of deal. So got connected with them, and they flew me out, did a couple of gigs. Like my first gig with them was like Essence Festival, which was
wow.
You know what I'm saying? Which was kind of crazy. But being on tour was fun. My tour situation wasn't like we were being flown everywhere. So mine was more like we were all in like the tour sprinter or
Tour bus.
Yeah, type of situation.
That's fire too, though.
It was cool. My situation was all our gear was there. So I didn't have a tech. So we would go to each city. Let's load it up.
Okay.
Let's set it up. Let's do the gig over. Okay, cool. Let's break it down. Let's, you know what I'm saying? So that was my situation because, again, even though they have such a wide resume for their writing and production, they're still new artists. So they're getting new artists shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was almost like doing like a Norva tour. That's kind of Norva size theaters. You know what I'm saying? That type of situation. But it was dope, man. The the traveling part is always interesting because you are stuck in close quarters with people that you're just meeting. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That you just meeting. You kind of know them, but you kind of don't know them. Then
Some of them don't be using deodorant.
I mean, no,
I'm just
that wasn't my situation. That definitely wasn't my situation. Luckily.
That's what's up. Like, no, hey, we have to use this. It's a mandate. We're going to mandate deodorant. If you don't have deodorant.
Yeah, you got to go, player. Yeah, you can't. But no, it was cool, man. It was tiring at the same time because, again, you going from city to city. You don't really get no real sleep. because you're after the show, you go to the hotel, but lobby car might be 536 to get on the road to get to the next city. You know what I'm saying? So,
So it takes a toll on you.
absolutely, 1,000,000%. And then you still have to get that energy back to perform on stage. And you know how it is performing on stage. Like when you get energy from an audience, it's like that takes a lot out of you because you give it all right back.
Right back, yeah.
And in my situation, it won't like normal shows I do where like once I play, I can just leave and backline or whoever takes care of all of that. It was like, no, play.
Now you got to break down.
Now I got to break down and do X, Y, and Z. But it was a crazy experience, man. I loved every minute of it. I got to meet a lot of people on the road. I got to connect with a lot of people, even connecting with them. Like I'm on like their new records and a few other artists that they're working with. I'm on their record now. You know what I'm saying? So I got placements and stuff like that coming out as soon as the album was dropping and stuff like that. So it was a crazy experience.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that about the toll that it takes on you because, you know, sometimes you seeing these big artists and you might catch them like, you know, a third into the tour, halfway in, and they seem like they tired. It's like, they are.
They are, yeah. They tired. They've done the same exact thing 1,000,000 times, whether it be just in the sound check, then do the show. So you're talking about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on who the artist is, and they're literally doing the same thing. Nothing's changing. Nothing's organic. This is the show. You know what I'm saying? Even that aspect, a lot of people don't think about. Yeah, once you get locked, it's like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no... Certain artists have like lighting cues and, you know, something goes off on the LED screen. So you got to do the same thing every single time.
Off of you doing
exactly.
And if you
literally.
Don't do it,
if I don't do that, they looking at me like, yo, what you doing? Because that's the cue for the guy to turn the lights off or to do, you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. So it's
Yeah, that's wild too, because I do some work with the theater, and it's that kind of meticulousness that, you know, would make you have to be like that. You have to be locked into the show. It was something that I thought about though. Oh yeah. So shout out to Pharrell. That's one performer I seen that I knew, like, I see why artists get these personal trainers and stuff. When I tell you, it was a straight hour of him jumping around the stage.
Yeah.
And you know that, I forgot the girl that dances with him, like the Lemonade girl.
Okay, yeah.
She was with him, and bruh, it was like I was watching a workout video. Because this was at the Shag Fest. I had got to perform, like open up for him. Yeah. And then I got into we had a VIP pit. And so I'm looking, and I'm like, bruh. Like, I was just awed at, you really have to take care of your body as an artist. Like, this ain't, it's not a game, because you'll pass out.
Absolutely. I mean, just seeing alone, like, the kind of time you have in general, like, again, to go from city to city or from here to here, whatever, you're not really taking time to eat. Like, most cases, you might be able to grab little finger foods, or you don't want to eat too much before a show. By the time you get out of a show, it's dumb late, so you don't want to eat too much. So you're still eating light, which ain't putting a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, stuff back in you. But, you know, it's how certain caliber artists are able to do it still amazes me. Like, that's how much commitment they put into, I don't have a lot of sleep, but I have to go work out. I don't have a lot of sleep, but I got to go do X, Y, and Z and so forth and so on. Like, it's crazy. And to still be able to...
vampire life.
To still be able to give people what they paid for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember listening to an interview with Kobe before he passed, and he was like, broken finger, broken toe, it don't matter. Like, people come out to see me and pay their hard-earned money, and this might be the last time they can, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does it mean to have days off when people are literally supporting your life and your lifestyle kind of situation? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. It's a hard task at hand for sure.
It's pluses and minuses
Absolutely.
to everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and shout out to Pharrell, man, for having that level of commitment. But while we're on that note, it's something in the water. It's something in the water. So, you know, when the festival was canceled due to the pandemic, that was already because I was starting to make some moves, and I was part of the Voices of Fire, and
Yeah.
it was a possibility he was going to be performing. I'm like, okay, this is opportunities that's coming to the city.
Yeah.
Finally. And so now that the pandemic is winding down, it's like it's canceled again. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dang. And I understand why.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I fully support why, because it has been a lot of, I've experienced personally some corruption
Yeah.
in Virginia Beach, city of Virginia Beach, involved with law enforcement. So that's something that I think that they definitely need to fix and train. But what's your thoughts on that decision to not bring it back? Because I feel like on the other side, it's like we losing opportunities at the same time too.
I feel like his stance is teaching more than one lesson, right? So, one, we know why he canceled, right?
Yeah.
And that hit even closer to home to him because he just lost a cousin, you know what I'm saying, from
Yeah.
the same kind of experience. You and I have experienced the same kind of deal in Virginia Beach with law enforcement. Like, you do a full-fledged search of a vehicle looking for what, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? That type of situation, like, I've had it happen. Had to go to court and everything, and the judge was like, so why did you pull him over? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it gets to that point. But another lesson that I feel like he's teaching us as well is, like, opportunities are there, but the right opportunities will always be there. You see what I'm saying? Like, him bringing something in the water back here was opportunities for people, but from a business aspect, that's really funding the same place that doesn't take care of us. You see what I'm saying?
You saying the house is gonna win at that point, and the house is Virginia Beach.
Absolutely. So much capital came for every single business out there, for the city itself, for X, Y, and Z, just from that festival alone. You see what I'm saying? So now, as soon as he makes that decision, they try to do like a little event with him and Dave Chappelle at Cavalier. Cavalier shuts it down. So now it's almost like you're playing into the very thing that we just said. So were you really cool, or were you just using this as a business to get money for you and the city? You see what I'm saying?
Dang.
Opportunities come all the time, bro. Like,
The game is chess, not checkers.
yeah, opportunity comes all the time, and sometimes you feel like, man, I really missed my shot, or I really missed so forth and so on, right? So, like, for example, for me, like when Khalid first came out, I was at the audition to get the drummer seat. I like 500. I made down like top 10 that didn't make it past that, right?
Wow.
Me in the moment, I was like, dang, man, like this was my blah 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 X, Y, and Z. But that's where I met the dude Brian. You see what I'm saying? And I've learned so much from a guy who's been touring over 24 years, touring, just like touring. That's what you do for a living. That's how you support your family. That's how you X, Y, and Z. When you look up, you see him on everything, literally. But my mindset wasn't, hey, I want to get to that level. I was just trying to go on tour versus what's really out here, what's capable, what's obtainable. Had I not met him, I wouldn't have invested in the gear that I have to be able to record drums. Right?
Wow.
Who knew a whole pandemic was coming? So now everybody I see or I follow or whatever, they at the crib. They sitting. They can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
They don't have gear at the house either. So they can't even record. You can't go to a studio. Studios are shut down.
Yeah.
Right?
Put you in a good position.
So the whole pandemic, whether I was 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th call, now I'm your first call because I took care of you when you need to get work done. You see what I'm saying?
And that sound like a quote. I don't remember who said it, but it's like when the preparation, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So you had already prepared for that situation,
Yeah.
and then when the opportunity hit, it's like
Yeah. I'm
ready.
I'm already in it. I don't
stay
gotta,
ready so you ain't got to get ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Word. So on that note, man, tell them what's next for you as far as with music. Any upcoming things down the pipeline?
I may actually try to finish a whole record. It all depends. Like, you know how it is being a creative. Like, if you're just not in that mindset, it feels forced when you just try to do it just because. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to use that time. It's not even about the money portion. Like, for me, it's the time I would be away from my family to concentrate on getting a project done, right? If I'm not in that mindset, I don't want to waste moments with my daughter or moments with, my family.
Oh, yeah, and congrats on
appreciate it. Yeah.
The future.
A new one on the way, a little boy.
It's going to be a junior?
I'm a junior.
Oh, so it's going to be possibly the third.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide. My wife and daughter thinking the names now.
Word. That's what's up, man. Definitely congrats.
But yeah, so that, and hopefully in certain situations, like I said, with those placements, that'll open up some other doors. I'm trying to get into like TV production side of stuff, as well as possibly some movie scoring type situations. Again, stuff I never would have thought about had I not met Brian, right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing whole TV shows they doing, and you cutting from the crib.
Wow.
You only got to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of stuff is already pre-recorded anyway. Cool. I can record from the crib. Oh, I can do that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I'm just trying to put those ducks in a row. And at this point, like you just mentioned, like you got a new one on the way. I'm trying to weigh my options as far as if a tour comes, now I'm spending months or whatever on the road, and I got a wife and 2 kids at home.
Yeah.
Me, I don't want to miss but so much.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? Money is cool, but them situations you can't get back. You know what I mean?
And that's something I almost forgot to touch on. So like as a musician with a family, it's this work-life balance thing. Because it's not a job where you clock in from 9 to 5 and then you're gonna come home. How was that balancing the two for you?
At first, when it was just us, like when me and my wife first got married, like she used to be in a group. So she kind of already knows that whole vibe of you got rehearsal, you got to do this, you got to do blah, 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 blah. So for me, I try to, as much as I possibly can, when I'm home, I'm home. Like I'm not going nowhere. I ain't going to do too much. But when I got to go, she already know, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing to take care of my family. Same thing with my 5, she's 6 now. I just forgot. She just turned 6. Taylor says now, like,
wow.
Do you
time is flying.
Right. It's like, Daddy, you gotta go play. I was like, yes, Taylor. Why do I have to go play? To take care of me and mommy? Yes. So she understands. You know what I'm saying? That kind of deal. And when I'm home, she knows it's her time. She can be bouncing off the walls. I can be tired as all, but I'm gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying?
That's
she's good. And now she's in school again. So now even that time is like, okay, cool. If she's not home, I can take this time to either work or recoup, get some rest, and then prepare for, whatever is coming.
And you know what? It sounds like that's actually a positive in that regard because it make you maximize the time that you have. Because, I think it's a lot of parents that take for granted when their kids was, when the pandemic hit, they around you the whole 24/7. And, they'll take for granted the time they got. But when you do music, you like, I'm going to treasure these moments because I know I might have to tour in a few. That's what's up. But, man, I appreciate you for coming through. To the Hot Tea and Incense podcast. If you haven't, check my man out. Let him know where to find you at.
You can find me on Facebook, my actual name, Chris Jernigan. On Instagram, you can find me at Jernigan Forward. That's JERNIGAN, the word forward, FORWARD.
Come on now. All the licks. Where the forward come from?
I was watching some documentary and they kept saying the same phrase like fashion forward, right? So, which basically means as times change, I'm able to adapt with whatever and still be relevant. So for me, I kind of just literally my last name, that word, with the meaning that, my name or my brand, no matter what you send my way, I'm going to be relevant. I'm going to have whatever you need, no matter what it is.
Come on. That's a great mantra to have too, though. It's just it's like Diddy. Can't stop, won't stop. Moving forward. But appreciate y'all for tuning in, man, to the Hot Tea and Incense podcast. Make sure y'all sip slow when you sipping that tea. Again, it's your boy Michael Jamel. Peace.